One of the most important facts that I must mention is that men are more than bone, flesh, nerves, and blood. We were made at the image of God, and this means that we inherited the same power as the Creator Himself. One single thought and deep thought will lead you to your wishes. All that I learned about the subconscious and the superconscious is mostly based upon my 72 years of experience on this dense physical world. Basically, it's all about observation and experiences. One of the most important facts that I must share with you is that men are more than blood, flesh, nerves, and bones. We are actually divine. We've been made at the image of God. And since there is no difference between two images, we inherited the same creative power as the Creator. For that matter, we are all God and goddesses in training on this dense physical world, realizing slowly but surely that the future is nothing else than the reincarnation of the thoughts. And that's why it is very important. In fact, it's crucial, it's critical to keep a positive thought process at all time, regardless of what is thrown at you. One single thought, if it's generated with passion, with honesty, with purity, it will become like a laser beam. Again, I repeat myself, that will reach the subconscious, bypass the filter, go straight to the subconscious where magic is, and every single thing that you own right now, everything that you want, first of all, once upon a time, did not exist. That confirmed that the future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thought. But pay attention. Pay attention. It's like me, for example. For over a year, I have been looking for a LX 470 white, and I wanted to have some gold in it like my wife. Those cars are extraordinarily difficult to get and very expensive too. Guess what? My friend was going to San Diego. He asked me to go to San Diego. We decided to stop at the place where they had Lexuses. There you go. And it was my truck waiting for me, exactly as I pictured it, exactly as I wanted it. So sometimes the subconscious will act right away. Sometimes it will make you wait 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 months. But ultimately at the end, you will get your wish to become a reality, because I emphasize it again. You were made in the image of God. There is no difference between two images. This means you have in you the same power as your Creator. Never forget it, because that is what I have learned, and that's why I'm teaching you. The reality is, your subconscious gets your heart beating, it stops an infection. This is where God resides, so to speak, and it allows you to, for example, drive and talk to your friends or do various things. But there is also the superconscious, and that is where magic comes from. If you are very much emotional about something you really want, behind your wish, there is that passion, there is that depth of thought, There is a wish, which is like a laser beam that can ultimately bypass the subconscious and reach the superconscious. You probably have heard of a mother, for example, who her toddler by accident rolled under a truck, and the next thing you know, the mother just left the truck. You are wondering, how is it possible that a 85 or 100-pound little lady would actually leave a ton truck? That is what I'm trying to pass on to you. If you can reach that magic, if you can reach the depth of the superconscious in time and space, and you're doing it, don't get me wrong, you're doing it on a daily basis, okay? But if you manage to really, really do it, you can win the lottery. You can do absolutely anything that you would never imagine possible. Again, it is very important to do it the right way. And the right way is your emotional intensity. It's the depth of your wish that will bypass the subconscious, the screen, so to speak, and go right down to the superconscious where magic resides. Since the subconscious regulates your metabolism, the superconscious in time and space can also alter the atomic structure of your body. And by this I mean you can make yourself sick or you can heal yourself. It is something, of course, that our infantile scientific community has not yet understood or can grasp or even assimilate for that matter. But the fact of the matter is you can heal yourself or others in time and space because there is no distance in time and space. You can use that power, you can channel the thoughts. Of course, that demands a training. But most of all, I want you to know the power is within yourself. You were born with it. Sad enough, nobody taught you about it, and you're missing the boat in the process. I have to give you a few examples that are based upon my 72 years of long life of observation to how the subconscious and the superconscious in time and space operates. So let me give you this example. When we got married in Las Vegas, my wife and I, 11 years ago. I will never forget, that was a beautiful day. My family came from Europe and we were all very excited. We were gonna get married with my family. So here we are. My brothers, my sisters, everybody was driving my H2 Hammer, and I was in front of them with my Mercedes and other members of my family. And on the way to Las Vegas, we were. And about 1 hour before getting to Las Vegas, I asked my wife, I said, do you have the address of mon petit ami? Mon petit ami was the little church where we were supposed to get married. And she goes, I put it on your desk. Oh my gosh, I thought, I don't have the address. I don't know where I'm going to go. And I meant from the bottom of my heart, I said, I can't be late. I just cannot be late. I have to be on time and I have to find this place. So I told my wife, luckily for me, my family don't speak English, so I could tell her, you know what, we're gonna stop somewhere, and then I will call Owen, my good friends, and he will do a search and will give us the address or whatever it is. We were driving up and down, left and right, and I finally decided to exit the highway, and I look for a parking lot. So I stop at a red light. The light turns green, put my indicator, get on the parking, and next to me goes my brothers, sisters in the Hammer. And then I was about to call Owen, and my wife says, honey, I said, what? She said, guess what? I said, what? It says, we are on the parking of Mon Petit Ami in Las Vegas. Wait a minute here. What are the chances to drive 400 miles completely blind and land exactly where we were supposed to be? Now, 10 minutes later, my wife and I, we were actually facing the priest, so I was in time. This is what I'm trying to say. When I didn't have the address, I literally freaked out and I put such an intensity. I'm sure many of you have felt it. When you are under some very strong stress, you feel like very hot right here in your solar plexus. Okay, so that's where you send that energy. It is like a umbilical cord which is connecting you with the subconscious and the superconscious. So that energy was so powerful. The stress, the intensity, the emotion, all the elements were there for me to reach the superconscious, for the superconscious to lead me like an invisible GPS exactly where I was supposed to go. If you say, for example, okay, I want to win the lottery, but I just said it, but I didn't mean it, okay? And that's the difference between someone who is going to win the lottery, sometimes 2 or 3 times for that matter. It happens. Some people win the lottery 2 or 3 times, and I've been playing for 20 years and I never got it, okay? So maybe I should apply my own cosmic wisdom and try to do it. The point is, as a rule, you cannot use metaphysical secrets such as the one I'm divulging to you today for personal benefit, because that would knock out the power itself. But ultimately, it's the amount of emotion, it's the amount of conviction, it's the amount of faith. That's why prayer works. That's why sometimes people in a situation of life and death, they are praying. They're praying so hard that the subconscious is bypassed straight to the subconscious where God resides. God hears them and He saves their lives. It's common sense when you look at it. I don't expect everybody to either agree, understand, or even remotely be able to relate to all my stories and would say, oh, this is just circumstances. Now, the people are going to say that they may be 30, 40-year-old kids who haven't yet grown spiritually. Forget about teens, or if you're 20 or 25 years old, then I understand you won't relate to me because you haven't yet lived and observed like I did and pass on such a critical and such beautiful secrets that I know to be real. So again, you have the right to be skeptical, but if you pay attention, if you really, really pay attention, you are going to see exactly what you want, good or bad. Remember, the subconscious or the superconscious, that's where God resides, and He does not rationalize. Your subconscious does not know what's right, what's wrong. It's pretty much like God creating an earthquake or a tsunami and killing innocent baby. That force does not rationalize. It just acts upon your wish. So, if your UCI or your unique celestial identity or your astrological profile is earthy, is rational, is practical, okay, you can only delegate life with your 5 logical, rational senses. Now, if you vibrate at my cosmic speed, which means either you're my age or you're spiritual, then you are going to start to ask questions on how you have had access to a few things by accident. And believe me, they are no accident. It is also important to understand that you can only relate to someone because of his education, his intelligence, his experiences, and most of all, his stars. So if they are not compatible with mine, all that I'm trying to pass on to you, you may just think as being pseudoscience, a realistic product of imagination, or plain circumstances. It is not. It's real. Now, the next story that I have, it's kind of a very emotional, very sad for me, because it involves the death of my younger brother, who was killed by a drunk driver when he was 16 years old. During those days, him and I, we were going to work with my stepfather and my uncle. Both of them were in the front of the truck, and my younger brother and I, we were in the back with the bag of cement under a tarp, raining, wind, God knows what. We were hugging each other's. And then we were driving like 25 miles in the Superconscious, south of France little road. So it was really bad for our little butt in our back. And every single night when we came back from work, my younger brother Vincent was saying to me, "Louis, one less day to live." At the beginning, I didn't pay much attention to his words. I thought, okay, he's tired, he's depressed, God knows what. But every single night, at literally the same time, he was saying to me, "Louis, one less day to live." To the point where I got really upset with him and I said, "Vince, what's the matter with you? Stop. Subconsciously, Vincent did not know that he was making a wish because of the pain, the suffering situation we were when I was growing up. We didn't have electricity, we didn't have running water, we didn't have bathroom in the house that survived the German bombing. We were looking for food sometime in the trash. It was really, really, really hard. That's where I've learned that you have to be extraordinarily cautious to what you think, to what you wish for. Vincent was actually having a death wish. A few months later, I was called to do my 3 days of orientation in the Navy in the south of France, about 200 miles away from my village. I remember I kissed everybody goodbye, and I kissed my brother Vincent. He's the last one, and I kissed him on the forehead. And that's where he got hurt and got killed. And I was with all the guys. We were laughing, joking, smoking, having fun. And then all of a sudden, I felt like a knife going through me, like this. I said, "My gosh, what's wrong? What's going on?" And I could not help my tears to pour out of my eyes. What's wrong with me? What's going on? I could not understand why I felt such a terrible way. And I didn't want to look, weak in front of the other soldiers, so I went in the bathroom and I hid there, and I was crying, trying to understand what's going on. Then I heard the captain calling my name through the speakers, and he said, "Soldier Turi, present to the captain office right away." So I kind of cleaned up my eyes. They were red and puffy, but I went to see him. And then when I opened the door, he had the phone in his hand. And he says, "Son, you're here to become a man, are you?" I say, "Yes." He said, "You have to be very strong, very strong." I said, "What's going on?" I already knew that something terrible was wrong. On the other hand, I had my older brother Joe saying to me, "Louis, you're on leave. You need to come back home. Vincent is dead. Somebody ran him over and he died." Okay, now, this is what happened. I was 200 miles away from home, okay? My entire family, the friends, the neighbors, my mom and dad, everybody was around the dead body of my younger brother. There is one person missing. That was me. I was 200 miles away. However, every one of these people signed thought to me. Oh my gosh, Louis doesn't know. And those thoughts turned into a laser beam that reached me. That's where I felt that something was extraordinarily wrong. Before I knew Vince was dead, I knew, and I was already crying for him. This is why I'm telling you, you gotta be very cautious. Innocent thought can turn out to be killers. And another thing, I get a lot of people saying to me, Dr. Turi, my gosh, you're 72 years old. How is that possible? Apart from that, I had my entire atomic structure rebuilt by the extraterrestrials during one of my UFO experiences. There is more to it that I could not discuss in this movie. When we came out of the church, I carried my younger brother coffin with all the rest of my family and friends, and we all went to the cemetery. We put him on the ground. Never seen my mother crying so loud. My God, it was just horrible, horrific. And then when everything was said and done, everybody left. I stayed. I stayed all night in the cemetery. I was on my knees and I was crying and I was upset with God. I said, dare you to take my younger brother? Why did you do that? Did know better. I was 19 years old. And then I made a promise to him on his grave. I said, Vince, you never seen anything. You have never felt love or hate. You have never experienced anything. You're 16 years old and you're underground. I promise you, my brother, that I will live two lives in one. I will do everything that is imaginable and possible. I will do everything. I will live life to the extreme. I will take chances. I will push myself. I will have no fear. Because when I die, I want to give you half of it. And believe me, the emotion, the intention, the depth, the bottom of my soul was there for me to reach the superconscious. Is that why I am aging much slower than other people? Now you have one of my answers to why I still look younger at 72 years old. Now, I'm giving you long stories from the beginning to the end so you understand that one single thought and deep thought will lead you to your wishes. This is, if I don't tell you in detail how from A to Z I end up making my wish coming a reality, you will not understand me. That's why I go through all those details to make sure you understand. Your thoughts are leading you to a very specific lifestyle, and that is already set by a universal design or God cosmic design or your stars that give you a specific gift or specific will to get things accomplished. Now, you have to be very cautious because there are millions and millions of people on planet Earth that every single day think negative. The world's gotta end. The wrath of God is coming. We're all going to die. COVID will never end. We are gonna go into a concentration camp. All these people that naturally sign off for conspiracy, This is where it's very dangerous for humanity. I am ahead of time, not just because my age, my connection with the extraterrestrials, the legacy they left me, the perceptive legacy they left me. And that's why I'm cautioning you, be very cautious. Be part of the solution, okay? Think positive. Say good thought. If somebody has something you don't have, be happy. It's like, I remember once I parked my Corvette in front of a bar and I took the top off. When I came out, I saw spit on my windshield and lighted cigarette butt on my leather seat. Now you tell me, my friend, how can you attract a Corvette like I did if you spit in it or if you throw a cigarette in it? Do you understand? If you understand this concept, you already have made a significant progress for you to get all your wishes. Do not hate someone because he knows better. Do not hate someone because he has better. Just understand that this person has been through hell. I've been through hell before I can enjoy the American dream and become emotionally, financially, and spiritually stable. And all I am doing here is to pass it on to you. So follow my footstep, follow my path. Don't be envious, don't be negative. Be part of the solution. Make this world a better place to be. Because when you look at it, the new age of Aquarius and all the blessing are all based upon the positive thinking and the help of our celestial brothers in the future. Remember my ultimate teaching, positive, negative, up and down, black and white, front to back, God, devil, yin, yang, 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs, good it is, bad it is. We understand that, the yin and yang, okay? Understand that a magnet will not attract a piece of wood. Do you understand that? A magnet will not attract a piece of wood. So if you are the piece of wood, negative, depressed, jealous, envious, anything and everything that give you an excuse to be negative, not only you're feeding the negative extraterrestrials, the reptilians, but now you're shutting down your power to connect, not just with the superconscious in time and space that can bring all those wishes, but also the good extraterrestrial, the draconis that are there to stimulate the positive side. You do have a reptilian mind. And that reptilian mind is what the reptilians need to feed you with that fear, the negativity, that chaos, that insecurity, so they can survive in dark matter, just in case you didn't watch my UFO movie. But the draconis, you can reach them because they are already in your makeup, your celestial and psychical makeup. Anytime you are happy, anytime you're positive, you create a different vibration that opens a door. It's like a funnel that is endless. That's why it's important to choose to be positive, regardless of what is thrown at you, regardless of what you're going through. Because at the worst of my life, when I thought I just commit suicide now, that was the best thing that could have happened to me. When my wife dropped me, for example, I had no reason to leave after 12 years. I've done nothing wrong, just find myself literally dropped. I went through a tremendous negative emotions. But that was a blessing. I didn't know. It was a blessing that led me to my wife today. And that's what life is all about. You gotta keep positive. You have to fight. You're on hell. You're not going to go to hell, my friend. You're on hell. You can see around you the political fiasco. You can see greed. You can see negativity. You can see suicide. You can see manipulation. You can see all that. You don't have to feed that force. You want to be the opposite force. You want to be for light, for love, for integrity, for beauty, for hope, for the future of humanity. Okay, there are people that have a karmic set of stars loaded with Saturn, which is called in Greek mythology the Great Malefic. And regardless how much they try to be positive or hopeful, they seem to be in a quicksand and unable to get out of the quicksand. I understand that. But let me give you an example. That was my sister. Every time I saw my little sister, she was complaining to me. Oh, Louis, I hate my job. I hate the hospital. I am working for people that I know are going to die. It really, really bothers me. And I used to say, Noel, be careful what you say. Be careful what you wish for. The next thing you know, Noel contracted breast cancer. The subconscious does not rationalize. The subconscious understood that she was not happy. The subconscious says, okay, how am I going to help Noel so that she can get out of the hospital where she's not happy? Let me give her cancer. My sister got cancer. She fixed it. I helped her with my universal blood transfusion. And now she's the most happy girl in the world because she's away from the environment. Let me tell you another story. Again, it is because I have been through so much in my life, okay, that I'm able to pass on such a critical wisdom. So it's important to pay attention, especially when you talk to your children. When I was a kid, my mom and my dad, they had different set of stars and they constantly bicker at each other to the point where I used to say, please, is there any way you guys could talk instead of screaming all day long? I don't want to hear you. I just don't. Okay. I pass on a message. I didn't know. I was maybe 14, 15 years old. Next thing I know, I'm in a hospital. The doctor is stuffing 18,000 units of penicillin in my butt, trying to stop infections in my ears. Okay, a few weeks later, the doctor says to my mom, okay, the diagnostic is got ear infection. The prognostic is gonna go crazy, he's gonna go blind, and he's gonna die. My mom says, what? Why? Because he does not react to any medication we have, so you can take it home. So my mom took me home. I was like balloon. Of course, I'm from a French Sicilian family, a lot of brothers, a lot of sisters. My mother did not want me to die in front of the rest of the family, so she took me to grandma. I arrived at grandma's farm. All I could hear was the wind, the chicken, the dog barking. I could hear her calling the cows. I could hear nature. I could hear the river. Guess what? 2 days later, gone. My entire ear infection gone. What happened is, I made a wish. God, please help me. I don't want to hear all this nasty negative noise. God heard me. I bypassed the conscious, remember? I hate the superconscious and the magic. God doesn't think. Your subconscious does not rationalize. All he does is what he does. He does. He gave me the opportunity to become deaf. He was making me deaf because that's what I wanted. I didn't know. So that's why it's critical, if you have children around you, to be very, very careful when you talk to them. And if you remember, have you ever been back to the house you were born, to the very room where you grew up. If you go back there, everything is going to be so small. Yet, everything is so big when you're a child. And as a child, you don't have much of a screen to reach the superconscious. You're so innocent. You just put your emotions. That's why when a baby is upset, he cries. It's a lot of emotion. He cries. That's all he can do. That's why I'm asking you to be very, very careful around your children. Don't scream around your children. They're going to become deaf. They're going to hurt themselves. You're going to put some negative thought into the subconscious. They're going to hate you. Don't do that. Understand what I'm trying to say. Because even if science is not yet able to understand, to assimilate, to comprehend, and to accept what I'm saying to you, it is real. I am the full example of it, and I'm passing it on to you. Now you're going to say to me, but Dr. Turi, I'm a very devout Christian, or any other religion for that matter. And I pray, and I pray, and I pray so hard so that the problem I have with one of my child, the problem that I have with a partner or a job or a situation or my health for that matter, still doesn't work. I could say to you, well, maybe you don't pray hard enough, or if you do pray, maybe you don't mean it hard enough. Maybe you don't believe that there is a solution. You know, very often I have noticed that to steal the magic that is in the depth of your subconscious, it is done by accident. Most of the time, you won't be aware of it. It's accidental. But it doesn't mean you cannot steal the power by applying the part of God in you, which is your will. It is possible. You could also be victimized by karma. Let's say, for example, you're having a big problem with one of your child, okay? You did everything as a mother or a father to raise that kid. But sudden enough, he's a drug addict. I'm taking this example. Well, you know, there are forces that you can't control. I can guarantee you that this child was born with a very strong negative Neptune in his chart. That makes him extraordinarily vulnerable to anything that is not natural, chemical, and he owns an addictive personality. You have karmic relationships with every single people that you know, for good or for worse. There is a lot of answers that I have for you. But I ain't God. I ain't God. I don't have all the answers. All I know is all I know to be real. That's why I'm passing it on to you. But when it comes to karma, there are people that are set by their stars at birth to live a life of hell, on hell, because it's their karma. This is a higher jurisdiction. This is a higher order imposed by the cosmic code, by God's cosmic will. And you cannot go against God's will. So there are limitations as far as applying the power in certain situations. So I can give you that. There will be people that won't be able to trigger the power because they can't, because they're not allowed to, because they are not advanced enough, or because they have to pay their karmic due. One thing that science, again, our infantile science, has not yet discovered is that there is no difference between your brain, my brain, the one of my producer, the one of my wife, Einstein, or a killer. It's the same fleshy computer that is stuck into a body box to protect it, and it has the same exact wiring. What's different, you're going to ask me? What's different is your UCI. It's your set of stars. Your mind is nothing else than a computer which is reacting to an outside stimuli produced by the universal mind. In other words, if you're not cosmic conscious, if you're not aware of your stars, you are nothing else than a robot reacting to all those stars. And since you haven't been educated on the stimuli and the power of those stars, you're unconscious. Again, we live on hell. You're not going to go to hell. This is it. We cannot learn to be nice. We cannot learn to be decent. We cannot learn to have dignity by reading a book. You're going to learn because it hurts. You're going to feel it. It burns. It hurts. This is the only way we're going to learn. And that's how God designed this world. And remember, ultimately, you cannot have a God without a devil, or vice versa. You cannot have a positive without a negative, a front without a back. Remember, that's why you're symmetrical. 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 sides of the brain. Okay? E.T., good and bad. Understand the duality. Okay? So, this world cannot be without its negative counterpart. And then you have the positive counterpart. You need to realize the incredible amount of technological advance the positive human being has created. Every single one of us, every single day is working to make his life, or if you're an inventor, the life of other people much better. And nothing ever is or will be wasted. Every single thing that you do in this dense physical world is like a bank account for your next reincarnation. You know what? I'm driving a beautiful car. You drive a beautiful car. You enjoy a beautiful plane, whatever it is. These are the thought, the effort, the work of so many people before you. You enjoying me now through a camera and through technology that took so much thought, so much effort, so much work from people to create this beautiful piece of technology. Okay? Now, that is something that's going to benefit that person in his next life. There is no beginning, there is no end. There is only positive and negative. Everything good that you do now, even if you suffer. Let's say, for example, I'm going to take a really rough example, okay? Because I'm very truthful and very honest. And if I don't tell you how it is, you might not get it. Let's say, for example, all your life, you've been racist. You hate black people. You can't stand Chinese, Mexicans, God knows what. Let's say you're racist because your stars are set this way and you don't know it, so you can't control it. Okay, you're gonna live this life of racism, doing a lot of negativity. Guess what? Karma. You're gonna come back, but this time you're gonna come back in Africa. Okay? You're gonna be working your butt off to get yourself out of Africa. You're gonna work night and day. You're gonna risk your life to come to a country like the United States. And then when you get here, you're gonna get the same treatment than as the one you gave all those people by being racist in your previous life. Understand that for every single action, you have a reaction. And if it's not today, it'll be tomorrow. That's why it's critical to be part of the solution and aim towards the light, because that's what you're putting for you into your future. All I can strongly recommend all of you is to listen to that little voice here. That little voice is called intuition, and it doesn't lie. You cannot lie to yourself. If in any way, shape, or form, you realize that I have something that can be beneficial for you, and you want to learn more about the power of your subconscious and how to reach the superconscious, I have a book called Beyond the Secret. It's a collection of all that happened to me from hell to heaven, so to speak, because of my thought, because of my attitude, because of who I am, and my stars have dictated me to be a leader of the mind. So put your hand on my book Beyond the Secret and enjoy the rest of the journey, because you just started. You just started a new venture here. You just started a new journey that's going to take you all the way to the superconscious in time and space, where all your wishes can be and will be reached.